guys, welcome back to the channel. So, I just recently got back into the original Xbox. The reason for getting back into the original Xbox was this beautiful thing. The Pound HDMI output for the Xbox. What this does is it outputs the same quality as a component cable would, which doesn't seem like a huge deal, but it's actually pretty convenient. It's nice having it in one cord, and what's really nice is I now have a 4K TV. It doesn't have component outputs on it. So, for the $30 that this cost me, it was a no-brainer, really. Unfortunately, I found out that the DVD-ROM was no longer working. So I got into the console, I found out that it was the laser pickup that wasn't working correctly anymore. I cleaned it up and I adjusted the pot, unfortunately still wasn't working. What's truly unfortunate about it was the Samsung drive, which is supposed to be the best out of the 3 drives that came with the original Xbox. Now, I did go over to my buddy Chuck's, who owns Game Trader 2, and he hooked me up with some Xboxes, and I kind of hodgepodged them together, and I made a fully working one again. And he gave me this sweet translucent case, as you can see. For warning, I will tell you, if you're going to get this case, taking the front plate off of this is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. And I've worked in manufacturing for 15 years, and I've done modding for a very long time, probably about the same amount of time. And I have to say, this is one of the hardest pieces I've ever had to remove. So keep that in mind if you ever want to do this ghost shell. But it looks really sweet, I think. I was never truly into the emulators on this console, I just used the Xbox as an Xbox. There was always a huge modding community for the original Xbox. I just never got into it myself, is because during the time period I was big into PC gaming. There's really no point in me getting an Xbox for emulation purposes when I hit it right there in my PC, or at least in my opinion. Since this is a 1.6 revision motherboard in this, I was only able to do a soft mod, which that means I'm limited to an 8 gig hard drive, which really isn't a big deal for what I'm doing. I'm not throwing every emulator and ROM on there that I can, I just wanted a couple that I thought was pretty cool. You can play Sega CD games directly from the CD, and the same goes for the TurboGrafx CD. You can play the games directly from the CD, and I thought that was pretty sweet. And the emulation is perfect. I couldn't notice any hitches from playing, drop frames or anything like that. Looks really good, and I'll show that here in a second. But what I was really impressed about this is how the community is still keeping up with this. And just a month ago that somebody created a compilation of all of the emulators. So that's pretty cool for a console that came out in, 2001? Now, the emulators themselves are about 8 years old. I'm super late to the party, I'll admit, but it's nice. Another thing to mention is the fact that there was a Kickstarter out, and it was about playing games directly from the disc, which is something that the original Xbox could do 10 years ago. Which I find to be funny, that people are willing to spend $300 for this Kickstarter when you can pick up an original Xbox for like 50 bucks. Granted, you're taking the guesswork out of finding a unit that does have a working DVD-ROM, but if you look around you can find it, and certainly cheaper than $300. So anyway, let's head on over and see what the emulators look like and how easy it is to set up.